What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the F124 Ferrari Driver Career Mode. Yes, we're back today for the Japanese Grand Prix here for round 4. If you missed the last race out in Australia, I'd recommend you go back and check that out before we start this one, although it was not the greatest of races for us. But this will be our first secret meeting. And I go into this knowing absolutely nothing about them, so meet with the team to see if they're the right fit for a potential move in the future. Not sure if we want to move for Ferrari, but if we keep the performances, if we start performing lower than the team want, we could very well be sacked at the end of the season, so we need to keep our options open. So let's see what this secret meeting is. Looks like we're talking with McLaren. Says they view me as a potential addition to the team. They provided us with some information, so let's take a minute to review that now. Let's see. So McLaren right now are doing far better than us. Let's continue talks and see where this goes.
Been scouring the socials and asking around, and I'm delighted to say that the team are none the wiser about us chatting with anyone else. And the meeting went well, too. I know. I'm amazing. You're welcome.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep this secret meeting going and see... make sure we'll go for a move to McLaren if Ferrari drop us. But my main plan right now is to stay with the Scuderia.
This is a circuit where sometimes you see something truly exceptional behind the wheel. We've seen it from Vettel. We've seen it from Verstappen. It is a remarkable place to watch a car at speed. Welcome to Suzuka. We're qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Right, well, here we are in the car, ready for our first run of Q1. And the car felt pretty decent in Suzuka. It took me quite a bit to get kind of acclimatized to the track with this new handling model. Still just so much different from F123. But as we make our way up towards Dunlop, out of the twisty S's of Sector 1, the cars felt especially great through specifically that section of corner there at the start of Sector 2. I've just been utilizing the engine braking as well into that hairpin. I've been struggling with some locking there, so I've just had to brake that little bit earlier. And into the final chicane, I was struggling with some rear locking in practice. But now as we exit out onto the back straight, up towards the infamous 130R corner. So completely flat out through here. And down into the final chicane. All the way down to second gear. Keep it nice and tidy over the curbs. Flat out, all the way down towards the line. Where's it going to put us? That's going to be only 6th fastest, so... 6th fastest for us, only 10th behind George Russell. Right, here we are at the end of Q1, and it is a very, very tight field. Max Verstappen going quickest, with our teammate Leclerc only 0.06 off of him. But we are down in 6th, just a little under 0.3 behind first place. So let's see who we got out in Q1. Lewis Hamilton. It says DNF. Did he have an issue? He made it. He would have made it through. I can see. He would have been in 10th place, it looks like. But, yeah, it says he didn't finish, so I don't know if he had an incident. But both Hasses, both Saubers, and Logan Sargent's out. Let me just see. Terminal damage on his second lap. So I don't know if he had some sort of issue or if another car ran into him. But, yeah, the 7-time champion is going to be starting 15th and will not continue for the rest of qualifying. Right, here we go, down towards the final chicane once again. It's utilizing that engine braking there. As Max Verstappen goes quickest with a 129.5. Where are we going to be as we go up towards the line? P3 just behind our teammate and 3/10 off of the pace. Well, at the end of Q2 here, we are second and third for Ferrari, and Verstappen is once again quickest. Sergio Perez making it through up in fourth for the first time this season, coming to Q3, so good news for him. Out in Q2, we have Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, and Daniel Ricciardo in the RB. And of course, in 15th will be Lewis Hamilton, but he was unable to partake in this qualifying session due to the damage he suffered in Q1. So let's jump into Q3. I think we might be able to beat Max Verstappen to pole position, or at least start behind him. Well, here I am on my first run of Q3, and it's been kind of a bittersweet lap. I screwed up royally going into turn 1 and totally outbraked myself. And then the first sector was actually one of the best first sectors I've ever set around this circuit on any F1 game. It was very, very good. Or at least it felt that way. I'm not sure if the times will suggest that. But I wonder where this time will be. Like I said, it's been kind of a bittersweet lap. So, as long as I don't mess up the final chicane like that. Well, let's go down towards the line. See where it puts us. That's going to be good enough for P3. And surprisingly, we're only a 10th off the pace, it looks like. Oh, never mind. Here comes Max Verstappen once again to set the quickest time. Right, here we go. So we're going to round the final couple of corners, and we're going to try to get the best possible lap we can here at this beautiful Suzuka International Circuit. Can we stick it on the front row? Oh! I just got onto the gravel there. I thought I could make the corner. That is our final qualifying run complete. Not sure where that's going to put us once everyone else completes their lap, but heartbreak for us, as we definitely had the pace. Well, there you go then. Max Verstappen on pole position. He's been quickest all weekend so far from Lando Norris. Less than a 10th separating the two friends there. Oscar Piastri, last race's pole sitter, is going to be in third with George Russell in fourth. And then the two Ferraris, fifth and sixth, myself and my teammate Leclerc. And then Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, the two Aston Martin cars. Yuki Tsunoda out-qualifying Sergio Perez. So the junior driver out-qualifying the senior Red Bull driver. Wow. It was only by 6 milliseconds, but Sergio Perez has no excuse to have missed Q3 in the first 3 races and now be qualifying last when he finally does make it to Q3. So let's see what this race has in store for us. The track position is absolutely crucial here due to the difficulty that it has overtaken around this track, but we will try our best and see what we can do in terms of strategy.
This is legendary Suzuka with a long and storied history dating right back to 1987. There is more history to be written here today. Welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Mr. Monaco, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Tsunoda, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Magnussen, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Joe, Sargent, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Paddock chat earlier in the weekend that this driver had discussions with another team this week. How does that work from a driver's point of view? Well, you never like to be brutal, but it's not been a good time of it behind the wheel. How does the driver turn the page there? Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, here we are in the car on the grid, P6, ready for the Japanese Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is going to be starting last on the grid, so not sure why he took a penalty there, but that'll bump everyone from 11th up a place. So team think a one-stop is possible from mediums to hards, which is the classic strategy, so we're going to go with that. And yeah, let's see what we can do. Well, here we go then. 5 red lights on for the Japanese Grand Prix. And it is lights out. And away we go. As we're going to get so much wheel spin off the start. As Fernando Alonso is not going to try to challenge us into turn 1. We're not going to let that happen. So we're going to force him to the outside line. And he just has to back off as he gets passed by his teammate Lance Stroll. So we maintain 6th position off the start. And I just need to focus on the racing line here as I get a little kick of wheel spin. And now Stroll's going to try to get past me, but we're not going to let that happen either, as I'm already losing touch with the cars in front. If you get offline anywhere in that first sector, it is so hard to get back onto it and just refine your flow through that sector. Very, very difficult. But this train of cars ahead should give us the concertina effect, which is basically one car in front brakes, the one behind it brakes, the one behind it brakes, the one behind it brakes, causing the slow of the entire field, and it gets more and more drastic as you go back. So that should allow us to catch to George Russell. As you can see, we've already gotten 8/10 down to the Mercedes driver, and our teammate Leclerc managed to get past him off the start, but as of right now, Max Verstappen leads the Japanese Grand Prix, of course winning his 2nd world title here in 2022. So we're going to have a slight lockup into that corner there, which will definitely compromise our exit. But yeah, Max Verstappen leads at the end of lap 1. You'd think after this many races, Mark would understand that I know how DRS works, but either way, we need to start making moves through this field. So this first sector is just so flowy if you are able to master it. Not if you do something like that, though. Well, that was the fastest lap of the race. We got 2 of the final sectors were purple.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 5/10 a lap.
And I've already used way too much battery in this race. Can't be doing that too often. So I just can't lose touch with the cars in front here. At least I can focus on attacking rather than defending from the Canadian behind us. So we are just trying to pass George Russell in front of us. I think we could have a run of it up towards 130R or in to the final chicane if we play our cards right. So now we can just blast down the back straight, tuck into the slipstream, deploy a little bit of battery. It's not going to be enough to get us alongside him, but we are going to get a better drive into 130R, and we're going to switch to the inside, almost going into the back of the Mercedes driver. And now we are going to take 5th position from George Russell there. So the Mercedes driver will not be happy with that, but we certainly will. Whoa, big moment there coming out of Spoon. That was very, very close. I'm glad I was able to save it. So I was just saving a little more battery to try to get a run on our teammate. If we do get past Charles Leclerc, I really want to make it a clean pass, not to have any incident or contact and prevent damage on the cars. So we head on to the main straight here. I think we might just be able to get past him.
Okay, mate. Okay, Charles ahead. Right, let's go. Let's try and get past them and put them on the back foot. Push, push.
Alright, well, the team clearly giving us the order to get past Charles. They're not going to just give it to us, though. Obviously, not just putting team orders in place. We're going to have to work for this, but keep it clean. And he wants us to do it within the next 5 laps. So at the moment, it looks like it is the top 6 down to Russell. And then Alonso in 7th is just in a bit of no man's land. He's not as quick as cars in front of him, but he's quicker than the cars behind him, which is led by his teammate Lance Stroll. Well, that's Lando Norris and Piastri. They both get past race leader Max Verstappen. So the McLaren car is really willing to get their elbows out there. So they both passed the reigning world champion. That's very surprising. As will that put him on the back foot for our teammate to get past? Maybe. We shall see. Well, here we go. George Russell's going to try to go to the inside with that Mercedes, but we're just going to slam the door on him going into 130R. No way is that going to happen through there. This time around, coming out of the hairpin, we're a lot closer to our teammate. So we just go under the rumble strips and off the circuit there. Is this enough to get a run into the triangle and put a move on our teammate just like we did to George Russell? No, I don't think it will be. He's just pulling away from us that little bit more. Battery being used down the straight. Oh! Charles Leclerc! Woo! Charles Leclerc makes a mistake, and that caused me to lock the rear tires as we are going to get passed by George Russell into the chicane due to that mistake we made. Alonso also passes Leclerc. Now we're going to get DRS on George Russell and go right outside of him. So now our teammate has made a mistake into that chicane. So that's going to put him down in 7th. Unfortunately. But that's good news for us. Could we put ourselves in a position where we're fighting for a podium, especially if the McLarens keep fighting with Max Verstappen like they are? Well, at least with no pressure from behind, our teammate Charles Leclerc will be able to catch up to the back of Fernando Alonso and get out of that little bit of space between the two groups of cars that are bunched together. So there's going to be DRS being used up towards the first corner between the two McLarens, and Oscar Piastri is going to try to pass his teammate Lando Norris for the lead of the Grand Prix, and he does. So Oscar Piastri in the McLaren there is going to pass his far more experienced teammate Lando Norris. Of course, on pole last weekend was Oscar Piastri and didn't even finish on the podium. Oh, through 130R, it looks like they almost went side by side. They are going side by side. Down into the chicane, Lando Norris is going to try to retake the position from his teammate, but he's not quite able to. Piastri is just going to shut the door on him. And will that affect his exit out of the final corner? Will Max Verstappen get a run on Oscar Piastri? He thought about it, but just decides to tuck back in behind the McLaren driver, because we have a front row seat, best seat in the house, to watch this battle that's going on. Can we put ourselves into the battle?
Okay, mate, it's Verstappen ahead. We don't want to let this hold us up too long, so do your best to get past and get on with the race.
Hold us up? Mark, Max Verstappen is quicker than us, but I guess he is being held up by cars in front, so it's worth a shot.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap.
Alright, team wanting us to come in this lap. I think that's a good idea, as the McLaren drivers are going to go side by side once again, and Lando Norris takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix once again. I don't think he'll be going off into the distance, though. I think we'll be able to stay with him. There's a bit of smoke, not sure what that's all about. But yeah, team want us to box at the end of this lap. I wonder if anybody else will come in ahead of us, or if maybe we could pull off a massive undercut. Ooh, that was a beautiful run off of Spoon Curve there. Are we going to be able to look for a move on Max Verstappen up the inside of 130R for the podium position? Yes, we are. Would you look at that? We are past the reigning triple world champion, Max Verstappen. As into the pit lane we come, behind Lando Norris, just about get the car slowed down. So pit crew will get to work, no mistakes. And are we going to get past Lando Norris? Oh, unsafe release there from McLaren. So we're lucky the car's ghost in the pit lane. I think this could be us up into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. So we are going to come out P6, of course, excluding everybody else that has a stop. The only car that was in front of us that has not made a pit stop was Oscar Piastri. So we can utilize the undercut here if we just get on with it. And I believe Oscar Piastri, on those old tires, might not be able to do anything about it, as our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to come into the pit lane. So is Oscar Piastri, I believe. Yes, he is. So will we be out into the lead of the Japanese, well, the net lead of the Japanese Grand Prix? Let's see. Yes, we are going to be past Oscar Piastri, but will we be past Lando Norris, who's going for a move on us? Yes, we will just about slam the door on him. So now the only two drivers in front are the two RB cars, starting on the hard tires of Yuki Tsunoda at his home Grand Prix. He'll be happy to lead at least a few laps, just ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. So we're going to have to clear them quickly. Of course, they haven't made their stops yet. So we are now on lap 15 of 27, and this is shaped up to be a very, very nice race for us. As here comes Lando Norris up the inside of Oscar Piastri. Can he do what George Russell could not? No, he can't. But he is all over my gearbox. going into the Casio Triangle.
Ferrari drivers in the pits.
Well, there goes Yuki Tsunoda, who was leading his home Grand Prix, into the pit lane. That leaves just Daniel Ricciardo, who I will assume make his pit stop at the end of this lap. So we'll need to watch for the RB cars. They'll be coming through the field probably on their fresh tires. I would assume they go to a set of the medium compounds, or maybe the softs. The softs I used them in practice. They were about done in about 4 or 5 laps, so not a very good race tire, at least in what I was experiencing. But here we go, up to the back of the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls Formula One team car. And that's quite a mouthful to say as we go a little deep into the hairpin there, but we are going to get a better exit off the corner than Lando Norris. Maybe. Oh, off the track we go. As Norris, we got to get in the space. It was our fault. So here comes Lando Norris. Can he get a better drive? I'm going to deploy some battery. Can I pull a Fernando Alonso around the outside at 130R? Yes, I can. Norris just had to back out there. No need to go for a sketchy or risky move on Daniel Ricciardo's. We almost cut the corner there, as we're not going to have DRS from the RB, so that will keep us safe from Lando Norris for now, as I'm going to harvest some energy going into turn 1. The cars behind are definitely quicker. Oh, Lando Norris just got a better exit out of the final corner there, as we're going to deploy even more battery. He's alongside us. Can we hold the outside line with Lando Norris, who just gives us a car's width space and nothing more, as now he retakes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix, and we go a little wide there. Is Oscar Piastri also going to make the move on us? A little bit of wheel banging there, but we do hold on to the position, as we have to stay with Lando Norris now if we want to have a shot of winning this Grand Prix. With 10 laps to go, we cannot make any mistakes. Not the best of exits there. Had a little kick of oversteer, as Piastri's going to try to take the position from us. As Max Verstappen! Oh, he tried to go up the inside on us into 130R. That would not have been very good had he have kept the nose there. But now it looks like this is all falling apart just in front of us. Oscar Piastri has now cleared us. I don't know if we'll have enough to get him down into turn 1. No, we will not. So now I'm just hoping for a mistake for one of the McLaren drivers. That's all we can do, as Fernando Alonso just passes Max Verstappen there. As what's going on behind? Yellow flag. What has happened? Oh, I see. Riding on board with Max Verstappen. So the triple world champion makes a rookie mistake locking up into turn 1. You don't ever see that around that corner. So that at least puts a little pressure off of us, but Fernando Alonso says thank you very much. Lando Norris now in the lead by 3.3 seconds to us. Man. So the McLarens just have the quicker car today, it seems. Especially since they were able to use both of their cars against Max Verstappen's one to force him into making an error with the strategy. And now making an error into turn 1. But here comes Fernando Alonso. Can he take a podium position? No, he can't. We need this podium position. It will look good on our contract with Ferrari. We'll be beating our teammate who made that mistake. I think Alonso is the quicker car. Verstappen's already almost catching up, and as long as I'm holding up Alonso, Max Verstappen will catch us as well. Whoa, big lock up there of the rear tires. I just really need this podium position. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hold him off for 7 more laps. Tires looking fine, but I just don't know if we can do it.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
Max Verstappen now sits the fastest lap of the race now that he's out of some dirty air, but he has caught right back up. Alonso's going to try the same move he tried last time out, but it's not going to work out for him as Max Verstappen's right back up behind Fernando Alonso. It's like he was never even gone. Well, we got yellow flags out. Somebody has issues. Is it Alonso? I think it's Fernando Alonso. Oh no. Fernando Alonso, the one car we needed to keep Max Verstappen behind, now out of the race. So heartbreak for him. Our teammate is now just behind Max Verstappen in 5th. And I've just noticed Piastri has been starting to pick up the pace, and he is catching his teammate. He's a little over a second behind him now. So can Piastri now challenge Norris for the lead and get redemption for that missed podium or missed win last time out? I think Verstappen just had to jam on the brakes as well when he saw Alonso having a mechanical failure. But that certainly won't hold him back, as if we start fighting with Max, we can hold him up and hopefully help our teammate Leclerc get past and do a similar move as we did in Jeddah when we hadn't stopped yet and we held up another car to help Charles Leclerc get past. Well, the team have just informed me that Oscar Piastri has got some sort of mechanical problem. So will we see him start to drop back? Doesn't look like it. He's 3/10 off his teammate down the main straight here.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 3.9 seconds.
I wonder what the issue on his car is. Maybe he's stuck in a lower engine mode. But whatever the reason, hopefully it slows him down so we can catch back up. Well, I can definitely see the effects of the mechanical gremlins going on in Piastri's car. He's dropped back 2 seconds just on this lap as here comes Max Verstappen. We're going to try to force him to the inside, but we're not going to have enough power to get back past the reigning world champ. But if we can stay with him through this section, which I doubt we can, yep, right there, made another mistake. These tires are getting worn, and that's when I start to feel the most pressure, and I'll tell you, I do not work best under pressure. But if Verstappen can catch Piastri, maybe we can too, and still finish on this podium. Now, Piastri's car does come back to him, then there'll be an issue. As surely Max Verstappen, oh, he's gonna go 130R. He's gonna go for the move. Can he make it stick? Piastri lacking so much pace. And yes, Max Verstappen does clear Oscar Piastri. Can he switch him back? Oh, as we just hit a bollard there. Apologies from me. But now Oscar Piastri is going to get the DRS off of Max Verstappen. We're not going to have the DRS from Oscar Piastri. Oh, but is Piastri going to go back for a move? This is very entertaining, as Piastri just tried to move there on the Dutchman, but he could not make it stick with that car that he's driving. He definitely has more pace than that. As Oscar Piastri must feel so helpless inside that McLaren car. Nothing you can do. Worst feeling as a driver when something is out of your control like that. Definitely an engine problem due to how much time he's losing on these straights. As can we make a move going into 130R on the Australian driver? We're definitely going to try it. We're going to go to the inside. He's going to give us the rim, but he's still to the inside of the triangle. I know he's got an engine problem. He's going to stick the nose up the inside. Will I have DRS going down into turn 1? Because if that's the case, then Piastri, we will be gone. But no, we don't. Piastri gets the DRS. We're just going to deploy a little bit of battery and go to the outside as our teammate Charles Leclerc tries to make a move as well. As we barely had enough room to get by there, but we made the move stick. Would you look at that? I honestly thought we would come together, but that was so very close. Fine margins here in Suzuka. Well, I've just spent this lap charging up the battery, so see if we can go for the fastest lap on the last lap of this race to maybe snag an extra point. But teammate Charles Leclerc is going to clear Oscar Piastri on the penultimate lap, and now as we start the final lap, that was not the kind of exit I needed for a fastest lap.
Okay, you just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Okay.
So now I'm going to see if I can set the quickest lap of the race to maybe just snag an extra point for the team. Final lap, into the chicane goes Lando Norris in his McLaren car. He's going to round the final corner and he's going to cross the line to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is going to come home second. Will we take the fastest lap from the Dutchman? I'm not sure, but we come home P3.
I cannot complain about that one. That was an excellent drive. Well done.
So would you look at that, a podium for us, finally. So we win the first race and we get 2 pointless races. Now in round 4 we finally return to form.
Another fantastic Grand Prix here in Japan. A brilliant victory that has thoroughly earned the applause of the sellout crowd here today.
Well, it's never easy and straightforward to put a race like this together today, but they did the best job out there. They used the information wisely and they stayed on the track. That was the most important thing.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Well, McLaren returning to form as well. And I'm sure the team can't complain about that. Beating out Max Verstappen. I'm still not sure if we took the fastest lap. We'll find out in a moment, but for now, Lando Norris can just relax and cherish this moment.
Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, unfortunately, in the end, I wasn't able to take the fastest lap from Max Verstappen. I was still 2/10 off of his time. Closer to 3, actually. But Lando Norris, look at that, wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Started 6th, finished 3rd for us, and our teammate Leclerc started 5th, finished 4th. So good recovery. Lewis Hamilton, who had that incident in qualifying, 14th, made up 7 places to finish 7th and take home 6 points behind his teammate George Russell. Oscar Piastri finished 5th after 1 point, looking like he could win this race, but the team decided to keep him out a little bit longer. Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo utilized their tires at the end, managed to finish 8th and 9th, so double points finished for RB. Alex Albon and the Williams takes the final points position. Sergio Perez started last, was able to recover to 11th, just outside the points. And then not too much else from there besides poor Fernando Alonso. He definitely was having an amazing drive here today, but it just wasn't to be. So in terms of the standings, we're now third. 37 points behind first, and 35 behind Lando Norris, who's in second. So a title battle seems to be heating up between Red Bull and McLaren. McLaren lead the Constructors' standings right now. I think they could take the Constructors' title because Red Bull essentially only have one driver. I mean, Sergio Perez has scored 18 points, the equivalent of one second-place finish. Max Verstappen is on 78 points. The difference there is just astonishing. And look at the difference between Red Bull, Max Verstappen in first, and Sergio Perez in ninth. And then look at the two McLarens, second and fourth. No wonder they have so many points in the Constructors' standings. This is basically Max Verstappen carrying the team himself. But another point for Williams, some more points for RB, and still, bottom two teams, Kick Sauber and Haas, not scoring any points. It didn't seem like any of them were getting close. But that is all for this race. I think this was a great race. We couldn't have done anything better. I think we got all we could out of the car this weekend. So I'm very pleased with that. And yeah, next race, our first sprint weekend in China. We finally returned to China after a 5-year-long absence. Haven't raced there since 2019. So it's going to be exciting. Hopefully the order will get a little bit mixed up, but we should hope to come out on top. I'll see you guys next time out in Shanghai.